Welcome to the Ask Around Yorktown program. I'm Art Lander, Special Projects Director for the Alliance for Safe Kids. And today we will be speaking with Yorktown Police Department's School Resource Officer, Julie Vicinenza. I've had the honor of working with Julie while on the force, and I can tell you that she's been doing a great job. And not only she, but all of the SROs are doing this, a wonderful job in our schools. Welcome, Julie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, our pleasure, believe me. Could you give us just a little background on what you're doing in there, what's your position, and how your training and some of the stuff that goes into this?
Sure. I've been a police officer now in Yorktown for over 14 years. The last 4 years I've actually been assigned as a school resource officer. As part of my training to become a school resource officer, I attended a basic SRO school. I'm certified as an investigator for sexual abuse, child abuse, domestic abuse. I'm also a general topics instructor. And I've also attended DARE school, so I'm actually certified in DARE as well. So it's been an interesting position for me that I've really embraced the last 4 years.
It's amazing how all of those talents that you have, that you've been trained for, actually come into play as an SRO, as a school resource officer.
Absolutely.
Every day you're at school, I'm sure you must run into something that brings that out. What exactly is a school resource officer? We hear this term used a lot, especially in our community, and we've been, luckily we've been involved with it probably for, how many years do you think we've been involved in the SRO program?
Well, the SRO program actually started in 2003 in Yorktown. It started with one SRO being assigned to Lakeland High School. The actual SRO program has been in place since 1960s, and it's actually expanded nationwide with such force that we now in Yorktown have 4 SROs assigned. We have one following Lakeland High School, then Yorktown High School jumped on board and they have an SRO. Then Lakeland Copper Beach Middle School, where I'm currently assigned, has an SRO. And lastly was Mildred E. Strang Middle School. They jumped on as well. So we now have 4 SROs assigned. And basically what that is, it's a police officer that's assigned full-time to the school. In some other agencies, they actually have one SRO that covers various schools. They can jump around. But ideally, it's nice to have one officer assigned to that school.
Yeah.
Because then they really get to know the kids and the faculty and the parents. The SRO program is actually, it's a proactive initiative. It's based on 3 elements, and that being prevention, education, and intervention. As I said, it's proactive. When most people think of police officers, it's usually reactive. So this is a proactive program. It kind of changes the views of the way the community will and the parents, the students view police officers. It's a way to bridge the gap between the police, the community, the students. And the students are where we really need to touch on.
The community-based policing method that is being used, we see that in the DARE program that you've been trained in. We see it in our SRO program. And actually, as one of the other things that we will go into at a later show is our Neighborhood Watch program and community policing that we've been doing here in this community for many years. The School Resource Officer program covers that gamut from the middle school all the way up into the high school.
Yes.
And it really covers a lot of area.
Yes.
How are officers chosen to be an SRO? I mean, you go up to the boss and say, hey, I'm going to be an SRO today, and I'd like to go to school and work there. There's a process that takes place.
Yeah, well, obviously, the department, somebody has to show interest. They put a memo in saying they're interested in the position. And when a vacancy arises, then, their training's reviewed, their certifications, and there's actually a very thorough interview process that takes place. So it's not just, a name out of a hat. It's you got to put a square peg in a square hole, is how that works. So, and actually, even though we have 4 SROs now, we have quite a few other SROs that are trained as backups within the department. Whether they were assigned and they were promoted, or they chose a different assignment. So we even have other officers within the job that are trained as SROs as well that could fill in if they're, somebody goes off for training or has an injury of some sort.
Right. And you work primarily out of the Juvenile Bureau.
Yeah.
up there. So that's where your office is, and you have an office in school. Kids can come see you in school, and they know you have your own central office.
Yes, every SRO is assigned a little office. We have an open door policy, and that goes for faculty, parents, students, and they are also welcome to make appointments for, to ensure that we're there, because we do have a lot of responsibility, so sometimes we're not exactly available at that time. But everybody's assigned an office, so they know where to find us if they need us.
And what are the hours, when you were working in school, what are the hours that you work?
Well, every SRO's hours are different, because the whole idea is that we want to be there when the students are there. So we adjust our hours accordingly. So for instance, the high schools, the students arrive much earlier than the middle school students, so they work earlier hours. Some of them might work 7 to 3, whereas Lakeland Copper Beach Middle School is one of the later schools in Westchester County. So I work 8:30 to 4:30, so my hours are adjusted, so I'm there when the kids arrive and when the kids leave. That's the whole idea before our hours, when we schedule our hours. But sometimes they have to be adjusted depending on circumstances, to attend special events or PTA meetings. We adjust our schedules accordingly.
Yeah, I know that you're really involved, and I know all the SROs are involved at their schools at every level, but also actually for after-school activities you've been involved with, sporting events you're involved with. The school relies on your judgment in your work for all of these other processes that take place in school. It's not just you're there to carry a gun or you're there to be the cop.
Right.
You're covering a lot more aspects, and that's what makes this program such a wonderful thing. It's amazing. Now, when you're not in school, when school's out in the summer, where are you going and what do you do? I mean, do you have the summer off? Or?
No, unfortunately not. We are assigned to patrol over the summer, which is good because it keeps us fresh. So we go right back on patrol. We answer calls for service, just like we did before we were assigned. And then when the school year starts, we're back right into the school again.
A lot of times when you do work during a day, your hours are from 8:30 to 4:30. If you catch a case, as the term is, that you're going to be working on something, you can extend that day. That day can go for hours. You might be there till 9 o'clock at night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have a child that's in crisis, you might have to stay later. There's been times when I'm called in on the weekends to assist with certain cases. We try to make ourselves available because we have a relationship with these students, and it's easier for them to relate to us if we're available. We try to make ourselves available as much as possible.
Yeah, no, that's very good, and that's what it's all about. Now, as an SRO, you perform some roles. What are some of the roles that you are performing in school? I think there's your law enforcement officer, or law-related officer. What are some of the things that you're involved with like that? How does that all work?
Well, yeah, we do have. It's basically a triad approach, as you said. It's based on enforcing the law and responding to any sort of crimes that might be committed in the school, in the community. A lot of times they overlap. Mm-hmm. You have something that happened outside of school, whether it be at home, in the streets, in the community of some sort, that it carries over. There's a trickle-down effect into the school. So we can respond to things that happen outside the school. And then we deal with whatever overflows into the school. Then you have the aspect of being an advisor as well. And that could be for something like you have a student that's having some sort of family issues at home, some domestic issues, and they just need somebody to talk with confidentially. Maybe they're having some feelings of depression and they need somebody to talk to confidentially. And sometimes they're not comfortable with speaking with the school official, so they feel comfortable talking to me. And I let them know that they can talk to me confidentially. So you can act as an enforcer, but you're also there as an advisor as well. I'm also there as an educator. We actually go into the classrooms and we do a lot of instruction. It can be something from doing DWI with we call them the foggles. They're the goggles. The kids love using those. Yep. They get to experience, the blurry vision aspect of it, but we explain to them that there's a lot more that's involved with being intoxicated. Sure. A streetwise program, which has to do a little bit more with the high school kids. I believe in Lakeland High School they do something called Safe Streets, mm-hmm. which has to do with being aware of what's out there. Yeah. They also do some prom safety programs. There's a number of different forensics, ballistics. There's so many different topics that we cover, but we go into the classrooms as well. I recently in the middle school just did a program with all the entire 6th grade, and it was called Behaviors and Consequences. A lot of the kids don't understand that some of the behaviors they do are breaking the law.
Right.
So we explain to them that certain things that they do, they may not realize that if they take it to the next level, they're just one step away from actually committing a crime. So we go in there and educate them on that as well.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that age, those are the topics you're covering.
Yeah.
Who would ever thought as a police officer, working the street and working in a patrol car, you come in contact, but it's always, brief, and you don't spend much time. As an SRO, you're spending, every day with these children, and you're spending every hour with them, and it's such a wonderful thing that you're able to do.
Yeah.
When the law-related education, and I'll talk about that in a little while in reference to the Alliance for Safe Kids Youth Court program,
Okay.
which you yourself and all of our other SROs have been a wonderful asset for us to teach the law, and you as instructors with us in our training. So I want to go into that in a little while. How does the school community react to you being there and working with the staff and students? In the beginning, I can remember the program. It was kind of very leery. People, what are we doing with a cop in here? Why is there a police officer in our school? Why do we need one? We don't have any crime. How's it now? How's it been?
Much better.
Yeah.
The feedback has been positive. The fact that it's expanded so much to 4 schools within our town is, example enough of that. I think that the parents like having a police officer assigned to the school. It makes them feel more comfortable that their children are safe. Mm-hmm. I feel that the administrators now can focus more on the education aspect rather than worrying constantly about the security of the school, because they know somebody else is there looking out for that now. Because one of our major roles is the security of the school and the safety. So they can focus more on education. So I believe that us being there has really enabled the parents to feel more comfortable, and the administration also to feel more comfortable knowing that there's law enforcement in the school. So it's been well received.
That's the very positive. And also one of the things that is people may not know is that you work very closely with not only the school administrators, but with the school psychologists.
Yes.
You work with the health department and the health people in there. You're an asset for everyone that's in that school. It's not just the law enforcement end of it.
Yeah.
Now, as a police officer, and speaking of responsibilities as being a police officer and being in school, what are some of the crimes that you seem to get involved with or being committed in the school and outside of the school?
Well, in today's day of technology, a lot of the crimes have changed. And in ways mostly for the worse, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Back in the day when I was in school, bullying was done face to face. And people are less likely, kids are less likely to say things to somebody's face. I mean, bullying's been around forever. You've got to accept the fact it's there, it's going to be there forever. It's just the way it's done now is differently. I believe that kids are more likely, I call it computer muscles. It's more difficult to say something to somebody's face. But when you're behind a computer, or you're going to text something over your cell phone or leave a message, you don't see the hurt that it's going to do to somebody. You don't see the effects it immediately has on somebody. So I'm finding more, we have a lot of bullying going on over, we call it cyberbullying now. It's actually against the law. I was going to say, tell the public what actually that crime is. It's actually called aggravated harassment. And I know the parents aren't aware of it, and a lot of the students hopefully now through our classes are learning that cyberbullying is illegal, it's a crime, and it's arrestable. And juveniles are being arrested for it all the time. Yeah. And it takes place whether it be on Facebook, text messaging, putting something on a blog of some sort. All of those are ways of doing aggravated harassment, but we just refer to it as cyberbullying. It's actually not called cyberbullying in the law, it's called aggravated harassment. So that has been probably one of the most prevalent crimes that we're dealing with. And also in addition to that, larcenies, because all the kids now carry cell phones and iPods and iPhones, and they're not real good about securing them. So, larceny is a crime of opportunity. If it's out there, somebody's going to take it. Unfortunately, it's the society we live in. And then again, that also stems back to technology. When we went to school, we didn't have those kind of devices.
Right.
And now everybody's got one.
Right.
Or two.
Yep.
And it's hard for them to remember to constantly secure them. So those are some of the most prevalent crimes that I'm finding at the middle school age right now, is the bullying online, and also some of the larcenies that are going on.
And it's part of your job also is to do a crime prevention, to instruct or teach, and not only, may I say this out to the public, not only to the kids, but actually the staff and the school itself. Because a lot of times you become relaxed in your environment, you don't think about those things, but it happens, and that's part of your job, right? To crime prevention, to make sure that doesn't happen that often.
Yes, I actually implemented a program at Copper Beach, and I stole the logo from the slogan, I should say, from the MTA, and that's the "If you see something."
Well, we don't use the word stolen.
Yeah. Oh, okay, borrowed. I borrowed the slogan from the MTA.
Right.
If you see something, say something.
Absolutely.
And that goes for so many different facets. That could be for a child being bullied. It could be for somebody seeing a suspicious package in the hallway. And so that slogan is actually used for so many different reasons. So that's helped with crime prevention. It's helped with the kids coming forward to say something that if they see something going on, or any behaviors that other kids have that they feel are unusual. So that slogan is used for a number of different reasons, and it's really gone over quite well.
I think we've indoctrinated that slogan also with in the Alliance for Safe Kids in some of our literature, and also in our Neighborhood Watch program that we co-sponsor with you people in the police department. So yeah, it is a phrase that everyone has become used to seeing and following and knowing what it means. I don't think you'd be hard pressed not to know what that means. So that's good. That's an absolute. Now you work at the Copper Beach Middle School, Lakeland Copper Beach Middle School. Do you work with any other schools in the area? I mean, you interact with? I know you interact with all of our other SROs.
Yes.
Do you have any occasions to be involved with BOCES or any of these other, like the alternative high schools?
Yeah, routinely, I would respond to the alternative high school because their campus, Lakeland Alternative High School, because their campus is on my campus. So if they have any issues going on there, I will respond to assist them. It could be an altercation, it could be a missing person, it could be a larceny. I will respond down there to assist them with that. Sometimes Officer Sage, also he is the officer assigned to Lakeland High School, will respond as well. But it's a little easier for me because it's on my campus.
Right.
As for BOCES, the Fox Meadow campus, routinely the SRO that's assigned to Yorktown High School will respond over to them to assist them if they have any issues, as well as Mildred Strang, SRO will respond there to assist. That's how we've usually been handling it.
Now, I know that you work very closely with Walter Panis High School, which is part of the Lakeland School District.
Yes.
And working with the SRO over there. And I think you've had some cases probably to go back and forth,
Yes.
or students that maybe have an older brother or a sister, and it's amazing how it just stretches from one jurisdiction to the next. And I do know that you guys are working very closely on anything that happens like that, which is very good for the districts.
Yeah, one of the things about Copper Beach Middle School is it encompasses, a couple of different towns. We like to say that half the population goes to Yorktown and half of it goes to Cortland Manor. So they live in Yorktown and live in Cortland Manor. But actually some also live in Mayapack, some live in Garrison. There's a small percentage also. So the problem that happens is when the students come to Copper Beach and they had an incident that occurred at home, I have to find out if they live in Yorktown or if they live in Cortland or Mayapack or Garrison to find out who the appropriate agency would have been to respond to the incident that occurred.
Right.
So I work closely with the SRO over at Walter Panis. Unfortunately, it's been via phone. I haven't met the new SRO assigned there yet.
Okay.
But we do have instances when we have siblings involved, and with the students that they come to school and the issue carries over to school, but it originated in a different town. It makes it sometimes a little bit difficult.
How many students? How many students are at?
There's over 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
A small city that you're taking care of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's amazing. I did mention earlier that, and I really want to thank you, and I'm sure all of us that were on the Alliance for Safe Kids, thank you for your help and support with our youth court program, teaching about, and we did just do a case, a training case on an aggravated harassment of bullying over the internet. So it is timely, and it's something that we see every day, and that's what we're trying to teach them. What are just quickly, what are the rewards you're getting from this job? Besides the police actions, what kind of rewards are you getting from this?
Well, I grew up in the community, so I have a personal interest in seeing the success of the program, and I want to see it continue. So it's important to me that the program is a success and done correctly. And what I've seen is over the last few years, like I said, I was assigned to patrol prior to becoming an SRO. And the youth weren't as open about approaching a police officer. And I think that since the implementation of the SRO program in Yorktown, the youth are so much more comfortable approaching police now. And it's so easy for them to open a dialogue with any officer on the street because they just go up and go, oh, I know Officer Finn through DARE,
right.
Or I know Officer Mundy from Mildred Strang. It just opens a dialogue. And that can just lead to so many different things. It can lead to them having information about something that might be going on, a crime that was committed, and I've just seen such a different interaction between the youth and our officers now in the last few years.
I think you've hit the nail right on the head because not only are the kids involved now, but your schools are better interaction with the schools and actually with the parents. And I've noticed that even through our organization, meeting the parents, there's nothing but praise for the SRO program. And it was a natural progression for us to have that, coming from the DARE program and you being trained like that, taking the same information and the same skills to the next level and to the next level. Yep. So it's a really good program, and we're very proud of it. And I'm sure everyone who ever came in contact with us, with you in the schools and working with it, have nothing but good things to say. We look forward to more interaction with the the SRO program, and hopefully that we get better, more and more action with the kids and more time spent with them. Just basically, we want to wrap up what we were doing here today. We were telling everyone about the SRO program and in our community, which is a wonderful program, and from the Yorktown Police Department. And we wanted to bring out some of that information. And I'm really glad you brought up some of the cyberbullying. That itself is a topic that we could spend another whole show on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just talking about the things that unfortunately for our community, we've had some tragedies based on cyberbullying or actually bullying, and we've tried to put together resources for that, and it's been a rough road there, but. I think with the education going out at your level at the high school, working from the law enforcement end, working from the educational end of it, I think that message gets out there to the public.
Yeah, and I'd like to offer that there are cyberbullying booklets available. I actually came across it by accident. It's actually from the FTC. They're fabulous booklets. I was actually preparing for a PTA meeting where I was doing a cyberbullying presentation, and I stumbled across them, and they're free. And they're excellent. They're an excellent resource. And it's not just about cyberbullying. It's just all about internet safety. It covers A to Z for parents. Even for the most computer illiterate parent, it spells it out. So if anybody's interested in obtaining a copy of that book, they can leave me a message at the police department. I'd be happy to leave one at the desk for them.
A phone number that they could leave a message for you could be?
Sure. My office number at the school is 914-245-1885, extension 260. I could leave a copy for them. They could pick it up at the school at the front desk, or I could leave it at the police department for them. But it's a wonderful resource for the parents.
That's great. That's very, very good resource for our public to have, actually. And if we can get some copies for the Alliance for Safe Kids, we will help you distribute them too, to get them out in the public and get that information out. That is really good. I just wanted to thank you today. Really, thank you for coming today and spending the time to go over the information that is really important, about the School Resource Officers Program. I'm kind of partial to it, as you know, because I was in the program and has been on the job, and I think it's a wonderful program, and I think the people that they've chosen to work at it are doing an excellent job, and they're very good choices. And I think that the public should be aware of how hard you guys work. It's not just another cop in school. It's a program that means a lot, and it's good for our community and our students and our parents. So, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Any closing thoughts that you have?
Thank you very much for having me. I hope that a lot of the parents see the program, because I think a lot of people don't understand what the program entails.
Right.
So hopefully this helps clarify that the SRO is a good program. It's there for good reasons. It's not a reactive program because it was a bad school. It's
Right.
a proactive program.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping that this will help clarify that for some of the parents.
I'm sure it will, the information that you gave us today. Any information you want to find out about the SRO program, of course, you can contact Julie. It's the number she gave you. You can also get from information on our website, which is www.allianceforsafekids.org, and also on our Facebook page, or you can reach us at 914-736-1450. On behalf of the Alliance for Safe Kids, it's been a great interview, but we have to talk a little more here.
Okay.
Okay. We thought we had any closing thoughts that you might have that you'd like to have the public.
Let's see. Well, we can talk. We can talk about some of the other programs that the other issues that we're discussing within the school. Something I didn't touch on was some of the drills that we do. One of the issues within the school is, like I said, is keeping everybody secure and safe, and the school's supposed to basically be in a lockout kind of setting at all times. We do, as part of our roles as SRO, we also conduct a lot of drills, lockdowns, evacuations. We assist with the nuclear evacuation. We bring in the dogs a couple of times a year. And it's more of a preventative measure. I think the kids see the dogs, it makes them be on their best behavior. And through numerous drills, I've found that the faculty and the kids they have responded so well into understanding that these drills are for their safety. Unfortunately, we live in an environment that it's important that they know what to do if a threat came into the school. So we actually do a lot of drills as well. That's also a major part of our roles as a SRO assigned to the school.
That's great. Very good. So, all right, I just thank you again on behalf of the Alliance for Safe Kids, and I'm Art Lander, the Special Projects Director for the Alliance for Safe Kids, and I want to thank everyone for watching the program today about the SRO program, one of the many great programs that our law enforcement, our police department has in our community. And again, you can check us out at our website, and let us know if you need anything.
Well, the shadows on the wall, they're getting longer. And the lies that we've told, they're getting bolder.